My name is Krystal Mercer McLellan, and I am from West Columbia, Texas. I've been living in Lima for about 3 months, and I'm so pleased and so grateful to have this opportunity to do a reading for you today for the American Women's Literary Club event, A Kaleidoscope of Works and Words. I'm going to read a section of my work in progress, which is a historical novel tentatively titled River of the Arms of God. It's set in early 19th century Texas in my hometown, which is geographically situated upon a river that the early Spanish explorers called Rio de los Brazos de Dios. Today, everyone in the area calls it the Brazos River. The story is about a family, or a household really, who immigrated from Hopkinsville, Kentucky to Columbia, Texas in the 1830s. And the saga spans a period of about 30 years. The scene I'm going to read to you right now actually takes place at the very end of the life of one of my main characters. And somewhat contradictory to everything that I've told you, this scene takes place in a mental institution in South Carolina. So, without further ado, I open with an authentic excerpt from the Charleston Courier on the South Carolina Lunatic Asylum from February 21st, 1824. Not the smallest appearance of a prison is manifest in the building. Security is agreeably under appearances similar to the eye in every private house. The iron bars take the similitude of sashes, the hinges and locks of the doors are all secret, so that every temptation is put out of the way to make an escape. Flash forward 23 years, we are in Columbia, the South Carolina Lunatic Asylum. The year is 1857. In one of the smaller, easternmost cells, careful hands tended to a sick man. They loosened the restraints that tethered his limbs to a litter and massaged the ligature cuts that had formed on his wrists. Mindful, like a lady's, the busy hands dabbed a dry linen cloth at the perspiration on the man's face, and softened a little when the man's words began to make sense. "America," the man said. "Sister, where am I?" His vision was clouded, and the light around him was blinding, but he was lucid. He felt with embarrassment that he no longer had any facial hair. "I thought I had died," he said. "Don't speak, Mr. Kit," said the attendant in a youth's voice. "You're in a hospital in Columbia." "I'm in Columbia," thought the man. "Happy land, hail ye heroes, heaven-born band." The sick man, his name was Kit, remembered someone had instructed him to stay alive. A woman. Had it been very long ago? She was so severe about it, too, as if she thought he were in a rush to join the great majority. "Rachel," said Kit. "No, sir, Mr. Kit. I'm Andrew." "Endure it," the woman Rachel had told him. "Stay alive for as long as you can." It seemed like progress to know this thought about Rachel was a memory. Kit knew that remembering was improving. "I am Mr. Kit?" "Yes, sir. You are Mr. Kit. It's not your Christian name. That's what you like for me to call you. Remember?" Kit did. The memory flapped home to him, along with several others, belligerent like mourning doves to roost, though most of the memories did not reach back to his time before the asylum. "Hush now," said Andrew. "I'm fixing you. Doc Cy needn't know you are awake just yet." He wiped Kit's neck and chest and wheeled him closer to an open window. "The sun and wind will do the rest for you." Kit hated the man Doc Cy, if one could even call him a man. Doc Cy shaved unconscious patients. No matter the severity or putridity of the ailment that knocked a man horizontal, if a man lost his lucidity for more than an hour, he would eventually come to again as smooth and pink as a piglet. Even Andrew, who rarely complained about anything, hinted that Doc Sy was someone worth avoiding at all costs. On the other side of the barred window, tree swallows flocked to the ground, signaling the approach of fall. But the sweltering heat did not let on that September was coming to a close. Kit could hear Andrew tidying the room behind him. The rusty wheels of his pushcart grated against the marbled floor as the assistant pushed it toward the door. Kit preferred Andrew over all other attendants, though he knew the young man didn't care for working in the East Wing despite their friendly rapport. Andrew once complained to Kit that he seemed to always draw the black turtle beans, and Kit knew that Andrew was referring to the ritual claromancy he had witnessed in one of his first few days at the asylum. At that time, Kit was still a treatable case, and he was allotted the freedom to walk the hospital's grounds for an hour every day, sans chaperone. Passing through the central hall on his way to the dining room for supper, he happened upon a gang of attendants and physicians' assistants clustered near the East Wing entrance. They encircled a pewter bedpan atop a trolley mattress and seemed to regard its contents with weariness. At first, Kit thought perhaps they had found the infamous crab fish, or a patient had passed something extraordinary requiring an all-hands analysis. But upon closer inspection, Kit saw the pan contained a sprinkling of dry beans. Doc Sy, the senior doctor's assistant, who enjoyed a modicum of authority over all the other attendants, obscured the pan's opening with a sheet of muslin and goaded his junior staff to draw lots. When he noticed Kit observing, he shouted, "Get along now, Mr. Patton, your biscuits ain't apt to eat themselves." Doc Sy had red lips, and he grinned like a devil. A hot breeze from the open window grazed Kit's cheeks, what used to be his sideburns, and the rolling sweat itched like a flea circus. "Andrew?" "Yes, Mr. Kit." "When is someone going to do something about that arseworm? I'm as hot and slippery as a fresh-born babe, and my manhood is buffer than Eros." "That's mighty poetic of you to say," said Andrew from the entryway. "Shave and a haircut becomes you, though. We'll have to bar the ladies' ward shut tonight." Kit hadn't the physical strength to turn his head toward Andrew. His wrists burned, and his shorn upper lip tasted of quinine. He spat, and it dribbled down his chin. He knew Andrew did not feel sorry for him, and he liked that. "Go to hell," said Kit. "Glad to see you feeling like your old self again, sir. I reckon you could use some of this." Andrew uncorked a bottle that echoed against the chamber walls. "My pap made an off batch, but I don't think it's so bad." The boy held the bottle's lip to Kit's mouth, and fumes ripped at his nostrils. Kit took 2, 3, 4 long pulls. "Rest again now." Andrew wiped Kit's face and tightened his restraints. Dazed, Kit heard the door lock behind him. Once more he was alone in his chamber with nothing but bright white light and heat for company. But he was at ease. "God bless Andrew," said Kit out loud. "Bless him." "Thank you."